Hey, Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to our Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumor video here coming in on a Wednesday where I'm going to give you guys a quick look at the total free agent outlook. So how much money do we have? Who are the free agents? And my top 5 free agents I think the Steelers should look to go ahead and re-sign internally here going into the 2022 offseason. First, though, again, make sure you guys are subscribed. Plenty more videos like this focusing in on the offseason by myself and Megan coming up here over the next couple of days, weeks, and months. Really great content. Almost a 6K subs here on the channel. I appreciate you guys for that. All right, let's start with just a big 10,000-foot view of what's going on in Pittsburgh this offseason. So they have several key players hitting free agency. It's quite a lot. It's like almost 15 to 20 overall free agents. A lot of them are people I think Pittsburgh will let walk. Like, I think Pittsburgh's going to go ahead and not clean house because they don't need to, but make a lot of changes. They're going to bring in a lot of new people and let go a lot of the current guys that are on, the final year of their deal. Obviously, Big Ben is probably one of them. So a lot of changes are coming in Pittsburgh. The good news is they have tons of money to do this. If they want to re-sign people internally, they can. If they want to do both a little internal and some external guys, bring in some other free agents, they definitely can as well, because not only do they have a ton of money, as we will see, the NFL salary cap is rising this offseason, projected to go to about $208 million compared to last year's $182 million. So a lot of money to go ahead and spend, which Pittsburgh, again, is in a very good spot to make some big-time moves. Let's start with the salary cap. So here are your top 5 teams with the most money in the NFL offseason as of today. So Dolphins have the most, just to give you an example of who has the most money, $75 million to spend. The Chargers have $75 million to spend. Chargers can be really good this offseason. They can make a lot of moves. Jacksonville, we knew had a lot of money. The Bengals have a ton of money. Helps to have Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert on rookie contracts. And Washington has a lot of money as well, although I think Washington's going to kind of throw some money at an offseason quarterback. So all those guys have the most money in the National Football League. Flip over here to Pittsburgh, and they're sitting there right at number 10 with $46 million in free cap space. That's a lot of money. It can become more this offseason as well. And it's very similar to the likes of the Bears who have 44 and the Texans at 42 and the Lions and the Browns sitting there all inside the top 15. So the good news is a lot of money for the Steelers to go ahead and spend. The question, I'll ask you guys this down below in the pinned comment, is how active will the Steelers be with this money in free agency? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like they're going to spend it all and go crazy and sign all these new people, or 1 being like they're not going to do much. Let me know what you guys think down below right now. Now, when we talk about needs for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a lot of these needs will be solved in the draft, and I think quarterback is probably one of those. It's not a hot take. Most mock drafts have the Steelers getting a quarterback at some point in the 2022 NFL draft, but they also have some offensive line issues. I think offensive line is something to address in free agency. Wide receiver, as we'll show you, a lot of free agent wide receivers for the Steelers. I think defensive line is obviously something they want to go ahead and improve, and then cornerback, because we're very curious to see what they do with a name like Joe Haden, as we'll talk about here in today's video. So they have needs, like every single team does. The question is, how much do you use on free agents, and how much do you actually address in terms of draft picks? I think they'll go more draft picks, but they do have the money to spend on free agency, and so let's go ahead and talk about that right now. First, though, name a player the Steelers need to re-sign. Is there one guy that just kind of jumps out at you, who you know is a free agent this year that you want the Steelers to re-sign? I'm curious who that is. Let me know down below right now in the comment section. All right, here we go. These are my 5. No particular order, and so it's not like a 1 through 5 thing. It's like these are the 5 I think they should re-sign at the right price, and I'll explain that. First is Trai Turner. I think Trai Turner has been one of the brighter spots on the Steelers' offensive line this season. I know that the entire offensive line has been up and down, and he hasn't been perfect, but he does rank like 4th overall in sacks allowed for right tackles by Pro Football Focus. And I think, again, as you look at the entire offensive line on your screen, he's been one of the, I think, more solid guys, obviously brought into free agency. I wouldn't give him a massive contract. I'm not going to give him some sort of, star right tackle money, but if he wants to go ahead and just come back to Pittsburgh and stay in the Mike Tomlin offense, I think the Steelers should go ahead and make that wish a reality, because, again, he has been good. Like, I think that a lot of the issues have been internally, and I think obviously injuries have played a part in the Steelers' issues at offensive line, but I think Turner, when he's been out there, has been one of the better parts of the offensive line. So he's one of the first ones on my list here who I think they will throw some money at, because I think you'd rather bring him back than, have to spend a first-round draft pick on a tackle, which they don't want to do because you might need a quarterback, right? Before we get into the next one on my list, go ahead and go down below and subscribe, because we have plenty of offseason content. I'm telling you, this is going to be the channel you want to be at for all of our offseason stuff in terms of news, rumors, updates, whatever you possibly could want. Go ahead and check it out by hitting the red subscribe button down below right now in the comment section. All right, next player on my list is Joe Haden. And you say, Thomas, Joe Haden. Like, Joe Haden is old. Joe Haden has been up and down. Joe Haden has been banged up this year. I hear all of that. Joe Haden on a cheap one-year deal to me would be a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers will draft somebody or bring in somebody in free agency possibly. I think the draft in the second, third, or fourth round is a real reality. But I think that Joe Haden provides you with that veteran leadership at the cornerback spot, much like what Richard Sherman did his 2 years with the San Francisco 49ers, where he played a lot and played well at a high level, but was really there to bring along the next great cornerbacks for the 49ers, and of course it'll be the same thing here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, the secondary has been a little bit of an issue this year, as we know, watching Steeler games, but I think the real question becomes, can you keep him at the right price? And I think that they will be able to. Like, I feel confident that they'll be able to go ahead and keep him at the right price. The question for me is really going to be, is it a one-year deal, is it a 2-year deal, or do they say, hey, we're going to spend a lot of draft capital on cornerbacks, and you let them walk? So interesting things to happen at the cornerback spot, but I would put Haden on my list of guys to go ahead and bring back. All right, before we get into number 3 on my list, shout out to our friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Steelers125. Get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up and jump in on the sports betting world. Like, how do you feel about, betting on the Steelers this week, or betting against the Steelers this week, or betting against other NFL games? I have my 5 bets of the week this week. Right now, I got the Patriots plus 2.5 at the Colts. I'm surprised the Colts are favored in this one. They are on a hot streak and coming off a bye, but both teams are just that, and so I'm going to go with Bill Belichick off of the bye. I'll take Philadelphia minus 4.5 versus Washington. Washington's very banged up right now. The Eagles get a bye week. They'll be a lot healthier. I think the Eagles can go ahead and win that game. I'll take Tennessee minus 1 at the Steelers. I will be picking against Pittsburgh this week. I think that the Titans are making this deep playoff push, and even though I think I could be wrong on this bet, I hope I am, I'll take Tennessee minus 1. Falcons are plus 10 at the 49ers right now, according to BetUS, which is crazy. The Falcons are plus 10, and yet they have a very similar record. I'll take the Atlanta to go at least cover, and I will go Bengals plus 1 at the Broncos this weekend. I think the Bengals, obviously making that playoff push in Denver, can go ahead and win that game. All right, back to free agents to re-sign. I'm going to go with one more offensive lineman here. B.J. Finney, obviously the guard center kind of hybrid guy, playing obviously left guard for the Steelers the past couple of weeks. He left last week's game with a back injury, but I think he has a nice piece at the guard position, and I think that some depth overall is a good thing for Pittsburgh. Again, I think they're going to bring in people. I think they're going to kind of makeshift this offensive line as a whole, but having some depth at guard, having some competition at guard would not be a bad thing overall. And at the right price on a 1 to 2 year deal, I think Finney is a good addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers to bring him back in terms of internal free agents. What do you guys think is the biggest Steelers offseason need? Like, overall, we talked about needs a little while ago, but as we go through this list, what's your biggest offseason need for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Give me that down below in the comment section. Maybe it's quarterback. Maybe you got to replace Big Ben. It might be. It could be offensive line, though. Give me your thoughts in the comment section right now. Number 2 on the list, we keep going here, Terrell Edmunds. I think you got to re-sign this guy. I think he's a very young safety sitting there at 24 years old, and he has had an up and down season, as most people in the secondary have had. But I think the continuity between him and Minka Fitzpatrick has been really, really good for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that they don't want to spend draft capital on a safety. I think they have other issues and other needs they want to go ahead and address. I think he has been, again, a good player in the Steelers system, a young player in the Steelers system, and I think bringing him back on the right price is a very good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think that continuity is something we keep talking about here. They will clean a house at some positions, but I think bringing some people back is a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we'll put Edmunds on my list here into the second to last position. Finally, I'm going to throw JuJu Smith-Schuster on this list. Now, do I think he's going to come back? No, I don't. I think he's going to go ahead and go somewhere else. I think his time in Pittsburgh is probably over. But if you could get him at the right price because of the injury, and I think the injury would benefit Pittsburgh in the end because he's not going to be coming off a 100-catch season or a 1,000-yard season, then he's going to go somewhere else for a lot more money. I think you might be able to go ahead and come back. And honestly, they got to figure out what they're going to do at wide receiver because you have JuJu as a free agent, Washington is a free agent, and McLeod's a free agent. And I don't think James Washington's definitely not coming back. I think that the right price for Smith-Schuster could make a lot of sense. I think he likes Pittsburgh too. I mean, remember, he signed a cheaper one-year deal instead of going to Philadelphia or the Jets or the Chiefs this past offseason. Will someone offer more money than Pittsburgh can? Probably, but if he wants to remain a Steeler with the new quarterback, I would not mind JuJu. I like JuJu Smith-Schuster. I think most of you guys do too as well. All right, let's wrap up here by looking at the honorable mentions. These are other free agents. You're not going to bring back Eric Ebron, obviously, because of Pat Freiermuth, so not a chance there. Witherspoon would be a good depth guy for the right price. I'm very curious to see what he commands in free agency. Washington, I just don't think that he comes back. That's why he missed the list. Chuck's there on the list. Ray McLeod hasn't done much this year. It's like 25 catches, so those are the honorable mentions, but I don't think any of them are going to go ahead and actually be brought back, and I think that the depth is kind of the issue there overall. Again, just one final look at my guys to resign: Turner, Haden, Finney, Edmunds, and JuJu Smith-Schuster to round out my top 5. Will all these 5 be signed? Who knows? These are just the 5 I'm thinking about right now. I'm very curious to read your guys' comments and see who you think these Steelers should go ahead and resign. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Plenty more content by myself and Megan coming up here on our Steelers news and rumor videos, as we always do, getting you ready for Sunday's matchup against the Tennessee Titans. It will be a must-win. Hopefully the Steelers are able to go ahead and pull it out. Again, I'm Thomas Mott, out of time, signing off to the rest of your day.